It's the All Jammed Up podcast, and I'm Clint Dotson.
Well, I heard old Manfred coming from a mile and a half away. I stepped out on the street there, and here's what I had to say. I said, hey now, slow that old thing down. This city ain't your highway, you're tearing up my town. Now left foot, racing for the sun. Got a 502 with the North Bell, he's letting the ponies run.
Welcome, everybody, to the very first edition of the All Jammed Up podcast. I am your host, Clint Dotson. Give a quick shout out to my sponsors, Devil's Foot Brewing and One World Brewing. You can get Devil's Foot Brewing at The Mule in Asheville, One World Brewing in Asheville, and plenty of other local spots. But if you're not local, you can go on their website and order them there online. And One World Brewing you can get at One World, and you can also catch a bunch of good live music there too. So thanks to everybody for taking the time to listen to this podcast. It is the first episode. I was planning on releasing it on February 3rd, but due to just overwhelming support from everybody, my friends, my family, and just people in the scene, people wanting to come on the podcast, I was kind of overwhelmed. It was really cool seeing that many people interested in something I'm creating. So I decided to go ahead and release the podcast early. So yeah, my name is Clint Dotson. I'm totally new to this podcast thing, but I've been involved in the jam band scene for a little while now. I've made a lot of really awesome friends. And I'm not musically talented and I'm not an artist, but I wanted to use my skills, people skills, to kind of shine some light on some folks in the community and interview some cool musicians, some cool artists, and just people on the scene who have a really cool story. So that's kind of my goal for this podcast. And if you think you have a story, or you do have a story, or you want to just come on and talk, feel free to slide in my DMs on Instagram. I'm always looking for more people to come on the podcast. I have a lot of really exciting things lined up for the next couple months, so I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are excited for it as well. Our first guest today, his name is Bazemore. He's somewhat of a local legend kind of on the guitar. And I felt it was right to get someone local in the scene here to be the first guest on. Alex is a really, really talented musician. He's in 3 different bands that we'll talk about in the interview. We kind of talk a lot of different things, what inspired him, what got him to pick up a guitar. We talk analogies, we talk fishing, we talk movies, we make a pact about Billy Strings, and he even plays us a song at the end of the podcast. So that's the long and short of it. I'm really excited for you guys to hear Alex's story, and without any further ado, let's bring on my new good friend, Alex Bazemore.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
Alex, how's it going, man?
Good, man.
We have Alex Bazemore here on All Jammed Up from the bands Phaux, Fish, and Sons of Stars, right?
Yep. Yeah, and I also have a band, Amabel Lee Band.
Annabelle, what is it?
Amabel Lee Band.
Amabel Lee. Are you that head guy in that band?
No, my girlfriend Ellie kind of
Okay.
leads it, but I play like electric kind of country guitar. It's like we've played a couple shows. One we opened up for Into the Fog at Music Hall.
In Richmond? Oh, I saw one that you guys, or maybe just you played with Into the Fog in Richmond.
Yeah, I played with them for a little bit. That was a fun show in Richmond.
Okay.
But then when we did a show in Asheville, they were always kind of would be like, do you have a band you want to open up for us with since we're in town? And so I plugged that band, Amabel Lee Band, for that show.
Okay.
And it's like pedal steel, harmony, country kind of stuff. So a lot different than the jam band world that I'm normally in.
So what's like the Fish band, the bluegrass band, and then that band that you just said? What's kind of like I know you're probably amazing at all of them. I've only seen you play the bluegrass band so far, but like, which direction do you want to end up going, or do you want to stay like dipping your toes in all 3 of it?
That's a good question. I feel like it's hard to. It's kind of like fishing. I feel like for me, it's like I grew up fishing like on Tybee Island a lot, but like I just started going fishing around Asheville recently.
Yeah.
My buddy Jacob,
We need to go sometime then.
We should go. Have you ever been around here?
Not around here. So I was just living in Florida in St. Pete, and I lived like 5 minutes from the water. So my brother came to live with me for a while, and like after work all the time we'd go just like. Wouldn't catch dick, but it was fun to just go out there and hang out for a little bit.
No, yeah. Well, me and my buddy, I caught my first rainbow trout the other day with my buddy Jacob. Shout out Jacob, and he took me to the spot near Mills River, and it was like a catch and release spot, and we weren't fly fishing or anything because that's
what
like
I
a whole
do.
craft in itself.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have time for another hobby. But speak to circle back to the hobby thing and the different styles. It's like when we go, he was telling me, cast there a little bit and kind of like hit all the spots of the bank. Don't just like do the same spot over and over. So it's kind of like that for me. Like if I did the same thing over and over.
Did you just come up with that analogy on the spot, or did you thought of that before?
I just thought of that.
That's a really good way to put it.
Well, bro, no, analogies are fun though, but sometimes you get one, like fishing.
Yeah.
There we go. We got another one. No, but it's like that. If I devote too much time to one, I start to almost get bored, but then I start to see something else in the other style, and I'll be like, I'll see another player do something cool. I'm like, oh shit, and I'll dive into that, and then I think, like at first I was like kind of hesitant, like, is this good for me as a player to do so many different things? Like, am I not gonna like grow as much as I could in one if I'm doing a bunch of different things?
Yeah.
But then I had people start to tell me when I joined the fish thing, which was like almost 3 years ago now.
You've been doing it for that long.
Yeah, we were the Lumpy Heads. That before we were called Phaux Fish, we were called the Lumpy Heads. But anyways, I started playing with them weekly, and then that was like, I was like, is this going to take me away from what I'm doing in other things? But other people at my bluegrass shows were telling me, you've gotten way better since you joined the fish thing. And I'm like, it kind of all fuels itself. And then I don't get bored,
Did you see me in the crowd on Sunday watching you play? Dude,
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw you play, and like, so when I talked to Lisa at One World, shout out One World, we're both drinking our One World beers right now. But when I talked to her, she was like, who are you thinking about interviewing? And I was like, gave her some of the names I had, and I was like, but I really do want to emphasize like local guys and just like people in the scene that aren't celebrities, I guess. And she was like, you gotta check out Alex Bazemore. And I was like, yeah.
Thanks, Lisa. Shout out Lisa and Jay.
I was like, why is that?
Great beer, and they facilitate great music. So.
Yeah, they do. And she was like, he's so good, like a local celebrity, check him out. And I was kind of just like, alright, like, I'm sure he's good, let me go check it out. And I get there, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And there was like a couple of times where I was just like, wow! Like, start clapping. And there's this lady next to me, and she was like, he's good, right? And she's like, I come here every Sunday. This is my first time here. And then like 3 people heard me say that, and they were like, what? You've never seen Alex? So I was like, damn, this kid is legit. So it was really fun watching him. I'm excited to see you in the fish band tonight, because I imagine that's got to be like, is that like a totally different style of playing compared to the picking?
It's funny because it is, and it's not, because Fish actually plays kind of bluegrass songs. Like they don't, they have their sound and their jams stuff that lasts for. Sorry, I've actually been working on not cussing for like last night because my buddy Lenny's kid was around us.
Okay.
I was about to say shit, and then I was like, whoa, no, I'm allowed to say shit now. But,
yeah, you can say whatever you want.
But back to sailor mode here. No, but so but they also Fish also plays a lot of bluegrass, and I'm not even like a huge Fish guy to begin with. I was really a Grateful Dead kid. And I grew up going to bluegrass festivals with my parents at Suwannee and Spirit of Suwannee down in Florida. Yeah. And you're probably familiar with that.
Yeah.
You said you're from St. Pete.
Well, I'm actually from Virginia, and then I was living in Richmond after graduation, so I know like all those spots that you probably paid, Broadberry, Camel, all that stuff. But then when COVID happened, my buddy was like, I'm going to move to Florida. And I was like, fuck it, I'll go with you.
It's warm.
Yeah, so we were down there for a while, and that's
no employment, self-employment tax, I think, or something.
No income tax.
Yeah.
No, like, you don't get state inspections on your car. There's like no rules there, really.
You can ride around with a dirty ass car.
My buddy had a motorcycle and didn't have tags for it like the whole time we lived there. And then my girlfriend, she's lived in Florida like her whole life.
That's Florida.
Yeah, it's just Florida as you can get. And
which I love Florida. I have a bunch of homies in Florida. And it's crazy how. Oh, sorry, you were saying?
I was just yeah, you're good, you're good. But my girlfriend just moved out of Florida for the first time, and she was like, "Everyone drives slow here." I was like, "Because you have to follow the rules here. Like in Florida, you don't have to follow the rules on the road." But I was like, "It's different here. You will get in trouble here."
I got in a car with a friend from Florida one time actually, and they were like, "We have to drive my friend to the airport in Orlando," and I was like, "Okay, I'll come with you. We'll go." And then it was just insane. They were just in the car like on someone's bumper the whole time, and I was like, "This is how we drive in Florida." No,
it gives me anxiety, dude. I hate it.
But the best part of Florida, one of the best parts, is Spirited Swine Music Park.
Yep.
And I grew up going there. And I was like, as a kid, the bluegrass was cool, but I wasn't like, oh, I love bluegrass. Like some of these kids are raised in bluegrass, and I wasn't one of those kids. Mm-hmm. My parents don't play music; they play the hell out of a radio, you know. Yeah. But that's what my dad always says. But and I grew up loving Led Zeppelin and like rock and roll. And then so I kind of got into bluegrass through the Grateful Dead.
Okay.
So the Grateful Dead, the style of Jerry and all is you look into his roots, and he played bluegrass and before he got in the Dead, he played banjo with like an old wife of his. Yeah. Like a duo thing. And then him and David Graceman and all that and Old in the Way stuff, you know. And so you're like, okay, bluegrass is pretty hip. Yeah. And then I went back to Spirited Swanee like with that mindset and got into some picker circles around and fell into like a circle with Lindsey Pruitt from John Stickley Trio, which they're awesome. They're in Asheville, man. You should try to holler at them, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah, they're I've gotten to see a good bit more of Lindsey recently because her boyfriend Jason Flournoy has been playing banjo. Okay. With us more recently, and he wasn't at the show the other day. We had a different person, but our buddy Gabe. But
was he the dude? He was next to the guy in the mandolin.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's not Jason. But anyways, Jason and Lindsey are both amazing musicians and sweet people. But so it's fun to get to play with Jason, and then Lindsey hangs around and she'll break out the fiddle every now and again, you know. But anyways, to get back to the point is, I got into bluegrass, and Lindsey was like in that circle, Spirited Swanee, and pick in and hang in, and I was like, bluegrass, this is cool. You can just walk right up and be like next to pros. And to me, I was like 18, you know, and I had just seen her on the amphitheater stage, and now I'm like in a little circle. So I was like, bluegrass is pretty cool. And then so all the different styles, like I was learning Grateful Dead stuff and hanging out with my buddies and like getting into that world and like falling in love with like Jerry licks. And then that's when I got into bluegrass, and I was like, whoa, I don't have any bluegrass chops because it's different. The picking style is different. And I went to this festival the next weekend, and John Stickley was there, actually, and like it's called Bass and Grass. It's in Florida. Shout out Bass and Grass. They're really cool. Larry Keel usually goes, and like John Stickley was there that year. I think Songs from the Road band goes, but they get a bunch of bluegrass bands that they're buddies with, and from the great pickers from the scene, and also like Jim Lauderdale and like country people, and they put them all together in this like barn. Like farm area. It's not in Florida. It's like right above Florida, in Georgia, middle of Georgia, Perry, Georgia. But it's a lot of the Florida Suwannee scene brought up to it. And anyways, that's where I actually got sat down and shown some bluegrass licks. And they were like, "Here's how you kind of use the flat picking technique," you know. Yeah. And then so the different styles all go together. Was that the question that I was just asked?
I don't remember. It's all gonna come around. But I'm sure we'll jump around a bunch.
The different styles, that's mainly, I think, you know, like what I like to intertwine it all.
Okay. When did you first pick up a guitar?
I had like a little toy guitar when I was like 7 or 8, and I kept asking for lessons, and then because I could like, my parents would always say, "Oh, he was making songs in there," but I didn't, and I couldn't do shit. Yeah. I was watching like this Led Zeppelin video, and my parents got me "Song Remains the Same," the Led Zeppelin movie, which is just the live concert at Madison Square Garden with like their little clips in there, and I was like, Jimmy Page, Dragon Suit, I need to play guitar, and I was like, but I couldn't just do that, and I could see that I wanted to, because a lot of people just learn, you know, and I was so young, I was like, I can't teach myself yet, and so I just was like, I need lessons, and then I begged for like a while, and they eventually were like, for my birthday one year, were like, we'll sign you up for some lessons.
How long did you take lessons before you kind of just got like to the point where like I can figure this shit out on my own? Takes a swig of a beer, takes a deep thought.
Takes a deep thought. The lesson thing, took a while. It was like I could even afford to get a teacher now, you know? It's like I couldn't afford to, but like not now, but like it's always good to keep learning. I think I took lessons until I got out of high school.
Okay.
Because I was in lessons before I was in middle school, and then I found out about a middle school program that had music in it in Savannah, and you had to audition. So I kind of like stayed with my teacher to help me audition. And they didn't have guitar, but I played with the violins section and like the orchestra.
Yeah. And
I learned to read music, and they sat me in like the third violin chair, playing like the third part, you know. And then I found out there was a high school that had jazz, and they could actually play guitar like in the jazz band. And I saw some of their concerts, and it was like, I was like, okay, these guys are like taking solos.
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of cool. And so I auditioned for that, and they didn't really have an audition for guitar. They didn't have a spot where you could. I'm auditioning for guitar. They were like, you could minor in guitar because that's in the jazz. Like, jazz wasn't a major; it was like a minor.
What kind of guitar was it? Is it like bass guitar, or was it? It
was jazz guitar, like a 6-string guitar. You know, like stuff like Wes Montgomery and like Grant Green, or like big band jazz stuff. You know, like so I kind of just kept bugging them, and I was like, "Come on, I've been in this one music school. Let me audition for guitar." And they were like, "Okay, you can major in guitar." You know, because it was a weird high school with majors and minors.
Yeah, that is. I've never heard of there being majors and minors in high school.
Yeah, and you know how when you have a major, it's like you can have you can study certain like things branched off of that, but you can't you couldn't just study pottery.
Was this just a regular public school?
Yeah, it was a public school.
They gave you majors and minors in high
and
school?
it was you didn't have to pay for it, and it was Savannah Arts Academy. There's still a school down there.
Okay.
But it's cool because I didn't have the straightforward like you play oboe. Here's your audition requirements. They were like, but they worked me in.
Yeah.
They were really cool. Like I auditioned, I got in, and then after I was in the program, they set up, I got a call, like I started teaching lessons in Savannah after that. I started teaching after, and that's when I stopped taking lessons. I started teaching and doing the living as a musician thing. I moved out when I was like 18.
So you moved out from Georgia. You're from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Savannah, Georgia. Tybee Island. You know.
And then you moved to Asheville when you were 18 and been here since?
No, I moved to Savannah from Tybee, which is like 30 minutes.
Okay,
when
T-Y-B-E-E?
T-Y-B-E-E.
Okay,
yep.
I've seen the signs driving down
Oh yeah, dude, Tybee's awesome. El Capoose and all the locals out there are great. But it's like a whole nother water world when I go there. Like I have friends, you know, they live given like charters, you know, off the boats and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I could easily see that as like the other life I could have taken, you know, and I still could potentially one day. You never know, but I moved to Asheville for music because I was living in downtown Savannah, cutting my teeth playing like blues gigs all the time, and I was getting gigs downtown. I was in a couple different bands that were challenging, and I got to record and learn and do the whole band thing. And I was 18, you know, and I was teaching at this local store on Wilmington Island called Idlewild Guitars, and I taught, you know, like Monday through Friday, like from like noon to 5 o'clock.
Would you say you're substantially better at guitar now than you were at 18 in Savannah?
I think I've learned so much since then, and it's funny because it's like it's only 7 years, it's 8 years because I'm 26 now, but yeah, because that was a great place to like really learn and be bad almost at playing live, but like take all that I learned from school and like kind of be good, but like just go for it and also figure out what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Asheville, you know, in 2020 of May, it was the middle of the pandemic, and so not a lot of musicians were going out yet, and I knew Lenny from Empire Strikes Brass because I was in a band that his buddy, they came to Savannah and we all linked up. But anyways, I got to town, hung with Lenny, and went to Early Tuesday Jam at One Stop.
Okay.
I started mingling with all the musicians, and then that really leveled me up too. Was like because it was almost like Savannah trained me for Asheville, and then Asheville has leveled me up to now to where it's like I'm still growing a bunch, but you know.
Why did you choose Asheville compared to like a Lexington or a Nashville or something?
Well, I was at this point of Savannah where I was like, I'm spinning my wheels here. I learned what I learned from the blues scene there. And it's not just a blues scene. There's like a great indie rock punk scene. I'm not like trashing the Savannah music scene or anything. But it's like... And there's like... It like was so great. But it was just like there is like a lack of like here we have, you know, great like One World West, all these venues around. There isn't that many venues there besides, you know, just like bars where there's tourists, where it's not centered around the music.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, I'm spinning wheels here. I want to go to a scene where people are there and I can kind of like have a good home base. And I didn't even know how much of it that had in Asheville. I really was kind of like thinking about maybe Nashville, because like that's the music city.
Yeah.
Everyone always talks about that. Like, go to Nashville, man. You know, people that don't even play music will say, you need to go to Nashville.
That's the first thing I said, yeah.
No, and I mean, and it's great. Nashville, I mean, there is some serious, like there's a whole song called Nashville Cats, you know, like Tom McCurry's song. And it's like there because but it's such a busy city too, like bustling and hustling, and Asheville is like a more localized version, I feel like that like you get more community. And I didn't know that when I moved here. So that was something I found, like when you went to my show the other day, and the audience members were like, "Oh, you've never seen Alex show?" It's like those people are so loyal, and they're my friends, and but they're not just my. I've met them all through playing music. But they're my family, and they come to all the shows, like, every week.
I think that's, like, so... we were in St. Pete for a while, my girlfriend and I, and I was ready to get out of there. I was like, hey, whenever you're ready to move, like, we can go anywhere you want. And she was like, what about Asheville? And I was like, fuck yeah. And this was pre-Helene. We made this decision. And, I mean, like, the salvage station had a fire lineup for, like, October, November, and we were, like, so stoked to get here, like... do all these things, and then Helene happened, and I was like, we moved here for like the music scene, and like I don't even know what it's gonna be now that like all these places have closed. So like, has it changed for you being a musician, like availability of shows, getting shows, or like has that changed at all?
There was a hit for a second for sure.
Yeah.
And I lost 3 weekly gigs. Like I was playing.
Do you play every night or try to play every night?
I would, yeah. It's like a job. You want to work as much as you can, you know. But I like, but it's good to have nights off, obviously. But it's like, I had Thursday through Sunday booked out. I lost some gigs, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday gigs. But I gained some gigs too, like the One World West gigs on Sundays. We would kind of pick those up as of.
I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, we will not be missing a Sunday show there. Like, you guys are killing it. The stand-up dude in the bass, he was really, really good too.
No, that's my first friend that I made.
I heard you shout him out. Yeah, you shouted him out.
Yeah, because I was telling someone that story that day, actually.
I liked watching you too. Like, you would kind of get it going, and you'd like get in their face and be picking. And the guy in the banjo at one point was like,
"Oh yeah, no, that's little Gabe." No, but yeah, he likes it when I weird him out like that.
It's funny because like I feel like you seem like a soft spoken guy. And then like on stage you were just like fucking killing it, dude. And there's
I can have my moments, dude. Trust me. Yeah. It's like but you try to keep those for where they need to come out.
Yeah.
So that because it's like, you know, there's a time and place for everything. We had a band practice last night, and I remember thinking like, man, am I being too much of a dick right now? And then like I asked one of the guys later, and they were like, no, it's great. Like, we're getting shit done.
Yeah,
you know? I was like, and I wasn't being a dick, but I was just being persistent. Like, no, do it again. Like, come on, learn your, you know, like stuff like that. And it's like you got to call each other out on something. It's like any relationship.
Absolutely, yeah.
Anything in life, you got to like be able to.
When you guys go into those like crazy jams and you're just kind of like just going crazy, do you guys like at practice like, hey, after this song, I'm just gonna go off for 5 minutes? Are those things just kind of organic?
No. It's funny because the banjo player that my buddy Gabe was actually, because he's super a traditional cat, and he was kind of asking about the jam world, like, and I was like, you know, you can't decide this is going to be a 32 measure solo. I'm going to take a solo for a really long time here, you just have to read the moment, and
Yeah.
it's like having a conversation.
Yeah.
But it's like
And
sitting
now
at
I'm king over here, dude.
no, yeah. Well, that's how like music teachers talk in school. They're like they always make the cool, and that's how you can think of it. If you can think about something from a different way, then you can simplify it in your head. You know, because it's a lot of like learning music and all that. It's like even some of my friends that are getting better at vocal harmony, and I've gotten better at vocal harmony. It's like my buddy Jackson. We'd circle back to him on the stand-up bass. Like he was telling me, been working on the vocal harmony thing, and I was like, me too. I've gotten a lot better because my girlfriend Ellie sings, and she's helped me. We do a lot of harmonies together. But hearing that stacked harmony is hard. It's unnatural to me. Like the jamming thing is natural to me.
Yeah.
Like I could do that like in my sleep just from growing up around it and being in that, loving it so much, being in the scene, going to so many shows, dancing, at jam band shows, spun out, like spinning around. And it's like those experiences all fuel to the music because you see the music in different ways sometimes. Yeah. And then when you go to, I remember like in Asheville, I've gotten to see so much good music here that, that's one thing that's slowed down a little bit right now is the amount of like bands coming through town where you're like, oh, Circles Around the Sun's playing tonight. Oh,
dude, I'm telling you,
J-Rad's playing tonight. It's like
when we moved here from October, it's like the end of November. It was like J-Rad, Dogs in a Pile, Daniel Donato, Aggie. Like this is all in a month. And like coming from St. Pete, we're like when we get one of those guys like every 3 months, it's like fuck yeah, we got somebody. So like. That was a big reason I was happy about moving here, and I think kind of like just being around the community kind of inspired me to want to try to do this podcast too. I think that kind of comes back to it.
Well, it's a great idea because I think it's great. The scene is coming back alive though. To circle back to that question, like it's coming back hardcore. Like Billy Strings is coming to town soon. There's all these after parties.
Yeah.
I don't know, like 100% certain if this is just like some hippie, like coconut telephone talk, But I heard that they're gonna close down Wall Street, which is it's like that brick. It's got brick, I think. It's like that little street downtown behind Patton. It's like third rooms over there, and like it's just got some small businesses or. Not small businesses, but it just makes me feel like it's like a quiet, romantic little street in the middle of downtown. So that's what I mean by small, is it's like cozy and cute. But I heard they're going to close it down and make it like a shakedown street for Billy, which they've never done for any band in town because there's always like widespread or someone will play the arena, and there's no shakedown. There's just like people up and down the sidewalk partying.
I believe that because like I was just in New Orleans for 3 nights for his run there. And, like, he came on the lot one of the days. Like, he, like, fucks with the whole, like, lot community. So, I believe that. I've heard that he's going to play with a couple of the guys. Maybe Mountain Grass Unit, the Orange Peel.
Oh, they're so good, dude.
Yeah.
Luke Black on guitar, man. I've never met him, but I follow him online. And it's so good. I have to, like, limit how much I allow myself to watch him because I'm like... Fuck, that's so good, And that's like what I was saying is the like different style thing is like it's cool that way. Like he's got some great classes online like Patreon, and he's got another bluegrass thing that he just started. I can't remember the name of it right now. That it's like a lessons program, and they're like he's doing all these Tony Rice licks, and I'm like, that's what I need to do, man. Go transcribe some Tony Rice. And so I started transcribing Tony Rice the other day, and I got, like, the first, verse of this solo down at, like, 36% speed, you know? But that's, like, and then I was like, yes! But then I went today, and I touched up on the Fish stuff for tonight, and that was, like, totally different. But then I was like, there's this Trey solo in this one song that I won't say because we're playing this one song, and I was like, I love that solo. It's a quick little solo in the studio, and I transcribed it, and I learned it, and I.
What do you mean by that? Transcribed it?
Transcribe is like means.
You're talking to a non-musician here.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it means learn it note for note.
Okay.
By ear.
Okay.
You can read the music, like you can read it online, and like guitar players read tab, or like violin players read treble clef, or whatever. You could read the music if the solo was printed online. But a lot of times these cats have solos where it's like you can see the chords online, if you look up how to play a song, But when they go to take the lead, that's transcribing. You transcribe their lead.
Gotcha.
And then you're almost learning how to phrase. It's almost like if you replicated an actor saying something, but you also not only remember the words they said, but how they said it too. Like that.
Yeah.
Kind of, and then when you're doing your own acting, you could apply those influences to it.
Okay.
So it's like transcribing a Tony solo. When I'd go to play something on bluegrass, it'll kind of like be in my background swirling around.
Okay.
And then I did that for Trey too.
Yeah.
So they're both back there.
Yeah.
But it's like I had to learn. One of the Fish songs that I had to prep for today was an old Bill Monroe tune, Uncle Pin, that they play. I'm pretty sure it's Bill Monroe, but it's like a fiddle tune that Fish is covering.
Can we get an AC/DC bag tonight?
I don't know, dude. I gotta look at the set list. We write the set list beforehand too.
I've heard that the chick on your guys' keys is an animal on the keys.
The trick. What? Do what?
The girl who plays keyboard for you guys. I heard she's really, really good.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought you said the trick was an animal. I was
No.
I was like,
what's her
maybe
name?
you're right. Her name's Hannah Ramsey.
Okay, because she was the one who was like, I was like, holy shit, this guy's good. He's like, you've never seen him? And I was like, no. And I told her it was my first time or something.
Oh.
She was like, oh my gosh. And I thought it was your girlfriend at first, just like, I didn't know anything. And the guy next to me was like, that dude plays piano or keys on her Thursday night, and she's fucking crazy too.
No, Hannah's great. She, her boyfriend is Josh, and he plays in. They have a band called Fern.
Okay.
That's really great too. That's like original jam band music.
Nice.
You should look into them. I'll send you their Instagram after this. But I was actually gonna tell you should get Hannah on this because she's really cool.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I'll talk to her.
lovely.
I don't know if
But,
I'll stay the whole show tonight. Maybe I'll catch her at set break or something.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I feel that. Yeah, it's not as late as we used to play this one. We used to play One Stop till 1 a.m. every Thursday.
Yeah.
That was a long one.
That's what I like about One Stop. It's like 6 to 9, which
Or One World West or One Stop? Which
no,
one?
One Stop on Thursdays when they have Jerry's Dead there. They only
Oh.
play 6 to 9, so it's like
Yeah.
it's perfect. Like I don't want to be out till midnight on midnight.
No, yeah.
I don't want to
yeah.
be out till midnight ever, really.
No, yeah, and I mean, you're talking to like a professional night owl here, and it's like my girlfriend Ellie, she's like in school right now studying Ayurveda at the local institute, and that's like she has to get up really early, and I'm like we have like opposite set of schedules,
Yeah.
so it's funny. So it's like I'll tiptoe in the bedroom at like 3 a.m, like.
Yeah, my girlfriend, she's a nurse and she works 7 to 7, so she leaves. She gets up like 5:30, and I'm just like, don't touch me, don't talk to me, just like let me stay asleep. And she's always like, but I get sad if I don't see bye in the morning. And I'm like, let me sleep. But if she ever did leave without saying bye, I'd be like, you left without saying bye this morning?
No, dude, that's you just wake up, spark noted my life or whatever.
So I want to go back to Sewanee a little bit because everyone who's been to Sewanee loves it. I've only been for Halloween, but I know they have like the smaller festivals. Which ones have you been to? Which ones are your favorite? And like, you got any crazy stories from them or anything?
I would say my favorite ones are all of them. But I'm just kidding.
Do you go to Halloween?
I actually haven't been to Hula yet, and
Okay.
I need to. But I feel like I'm ready for those bigger festivals. Like I grew up going to the smaller ones, and so I grew up going to Springfest and Magfest,
Okay.
which they're not named that anymore.
Because the Springfest now is like the Sewanee Amp Gym.
Or it's called Spring Reunion now. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah,
And
that's
then
they have the Amp Gym
And
too.
then they have the Roots Revival.
Okay.
So that's because they used to always have a spring bluegrass, fall bluegrass, and it's like bluegrass. But then Don the Buffalo plays there. Shout out Don the Buffalo. They're like my favorite band. And it's crazy because I don't even play that style. It's like Zydeco-y, like this certain rhythm, but it's so groovy. It's so hard to describe how. But like you feel it in your body when you're dancing that. But it's like God. The scene there is so good in the small ones because it's all family and you kind of see the same people all weekend. Excuse me. The bigger ones. I used to get a little overwhelmed at some of these big fests I went to because I went to like a Bear Creek there once, which was a festival they had before Halloween. And the bin and Halloween kind of ate Bear Creek because they were right next to each other, like time-wise. So all the bands that were doing Bear Creek, they kind of just became one festival, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I don't think Halloween's not that big. I think it's only like 18,000, which like after doing Halloween, like I don't know if I would do. I'm thinking about Bonnaroo this year, Thursday, Friday, because they got some really good lineups. But like I heard it's like 80,000 people there, and like
I worked that one year.
Yeah.
With my buddy Shane Nelson. Shout out Shane Nelson. I never see that dude.
Shout out Shane Nelson.
He walked across America. Like
Damn.
walked. Yeah.
Is he into jam music?
He's totally into jam
I
music.
need to get him on, dude. He's probably got
Dude,
stories
Shane's
for
got
days.
fucking stories. No, but I met him from Savannah, Georgia, through my friends, the Prince twins, that I was in a band with. But
Is my dog crying?
I heard one bark, but I think we're good.
Yeah.
Maybe we were just getting
It'll
too
be
hype, and they were like, Shane, woo.
And he's like, shouts out Shane.
no, shout out. No, Shane's got
He
a
heard
dog
me say
too.
walk probably, and he was like, let me go.
Yeah, okay. He's like, oh, boy. Yeah.
I'll walk
But
across the
Shane
country.
walked across the country, and we became buddies. He offered me, like, he was like, yeah, one of my buddies, you know, I think his name was Cody. He's like, we cook arepas, you know, they're like grilled
Yeah,
cheese. He's
yeah.
like, we cook them and sell the frozen lemonade at Bonnaroo. And a lot of
That's
the,
what they do in a lot
Yeah.
in Mexico. They
Yeah,
just
right.
make arepas instead of grilled cheese.
I know, yeah. So it was like, it was great. So, and we were like all the vendors were kind of legit that like worked the stands. We were like the kind of like unlegitimate. We were legit, but we had like our own little stands.
Yeah.
And so, and everyone was like, we were like the party.
You just had a Blackstone with like a poster that said like $5 arepas.
Pretty much, yeah. And
everyone's
like a
got
little,
food trucks,
yeah, totally, dude. And like, and it was like, I remember it being in a sea of people, and we would use the little arepa stands as like guide points, because at each one we would know someone working there, so you could just like make it to one arepa stand to the next. And that was like, it was crazy. It was like so many different styles of music, not a lot of jam band stuff,
Yeah.
a lot of like rap and like EDM, and like I was like, just let's go, like immersed into it, like we're having a good time.
Yeah, I think this year at Bonnaroo on Thursday they have Damn Donato, Dogs in a Pile. I think King Giz is playing. And then Friday they have Tipper. And have you seen Tipper before?
No, but I've actually listened to a lot of Tipper late
Yeah.
night. My friends would put it on.
He's cool, yeah. He's
ambient
cool.
stuff.
I like the flowy stuff, but not the bass. For some reason, I thought it was gonna be like super bassy and like dark. And I had taken a bunch of mushrooms, and I was like, or no, I took Molly that night, and I was like, I get anxious when like I start coming up with Molly, and I was like, this isn't gonna be good. This isn't gonna be good. And then it started, and I was like,
Oh yeah,
I was like, hell yeah, like, this is awesome,
the anxieties are for real, dude.
dude. Yeah, that's like.
I used to be able, when I was younger, to like hang more. Like I'm still young, I'm 26.
Yeah.
But it's like now I have like actual like anxiety around things sometimes.
Yeah,
And
there's
so
a lot of
it's
people,
like-
in big crowds too, and like especially on like, for me it's mushrooms and like ketamine. I'm good usually, but like if I do acid or Molly and like a lot of people around, I just feel like claustrophobic.
I'm kind of the same. Like I just, you know, I'm often in scenes where people are often like, you want to drop, you want some LSD, or you want like whatever, and I'm like, you know, I've had my share, and like I think it's like an amazing thing that can do something for your brain in the right setting and all that. But it's like, for me, that's it, set and setting, and it's like that party setting for those things is not it for me.
I think I'm
It's-
like
I get
past that,
really
like,
yeah
party
right
part.
yeah like I get really into like healing mode almost. Where
Yeah,
I'm
I want
like,
to be in my like little Coleman chair in the back of the show and just like
Oh,
have
yeah.
my mushrooms and just like look at the trees sway while like green sky bluegrass is playing.
oh yeah, I don't need to be like in the pit raging.
Yeah, like sweating my ass
I
off
feel like
or
that's
something.
like, is that growing up, dude?
I guess.
Is that what growing up
I
is?
guess.
It's like, I feel you though, because that's how I like think that sometimes, where I'll be at like a party, and I think that's just, as a musician, you get overstimulated a lot because your job is to be at a bar or a show with tons of people.
Dude,
And
sometimes you feel this like, I understand your job is to perform, obviously, but like when you have a show and like the other day Sunday, everyone's watching you guys dancing, like woo. When you see people just like talking to the side or like it's kind of quiet in the crowd, are you kind of like, damn, I'm fucking this up right now? Like I'm.
Oh no.
No.
If there's no one there, I don't even think that. Like sometimes I feel like I'll be like, oh, we're raging, and we're, you know, but you'll be like it definitely helps when the crowd is there, because you can really, it's like a
Feed off that
symbiotic
energy,
relationship.
yeah.
You're feeding off each other.
Yeah, because like when I see you like guitar up in the banjo player's face, I'm just like, yeah.
No, see,
Yeah.
that was my point. Was I was messing with him because I did something, and he kind of looked like, "What are you doing?" And he, and your buddies are like, "Don't do it," and then you're like, "I'm gonna do it," and that's what I did. That.
Have you ever seen the movie The Emperor's New Groove? Like when we were kids.
Dude, yes, but I can't. It's not ringing any
Hey,
bells
I'll
in my
pull it up
head.
right on here real quick. So what you just thought of made me think of this. This part of the movie where he's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was you the other day, and your buddy's playing him. That's you playing.
Oh yeah. I'm like, let's go, dude. Let's do it. He's like, don't do it. I'm like, we're gonna do it. That's how it goes. But and that's how you push each other, you know.
Yeah.
But and then you learn. If you fuck up, you're like, well.
So all you guys in that band seem to be kind of the same age. The mandolin player looks a little older than everybody.
Johnny's older.
Yeah.
He
So how'd you guys
that
meet?
old man, Johnny. Me and him actually met
He's
at
probably
once.
like 40.
Yeah, he's 40.
Yeah.
But I was just messing. But him and I met at One Stop one night actually. Over sharing a microphone, spitting in each other's faces, like right after COVID, because during some Shakedown Sunday jam, and we were like, Garrett and Swanee, our buddies. Shout out Garrett and Swanee. Shout out all the homies. Sunday Shakedown, was like a great spot to meet heads and all that.
Yeah.
So I met Johnny there, and they were playing a song, and me and Johnny both were just like pretty drunk probably, and we were like, and we both just didn't even just say anything. We both just went for the mic together, like on the stage, and like sang back up on one mic, just like basically kissing.
Yeah.
And I remember like waking up the next day and being like,
Did I kiss a guy last night?
being like, damn, like that guy
He's 40.
spit in my mouth last night. I hope I didn't get COVID. No, but yeah, it was.
So let's go back to the Grateful Dead a little bit. All right, so big influence for you, specifically Jerry Bluegrass days.
Yeah.
Do you, apart from I guess that'd be pre-Grateful Dead, when they were the Grateful Dead, do you have a specific era that like kind of sticks out with you, or like specific shows that you're like, I want to make this sound?
Yeah, I really like I think it's hard to say because it's like I jump around with it between the Brent and the Donna age. Like I'm not a super big Pig. Like I love Pigpen, but I don't really listen to the super early stuff as much because they're still searching for their sound a lot, and that's good. But I don't really want to listen to. Like it's like I wanted to listen. I want to listen to a band that's got that refined sound, so I can leech off of it, like learn from it. So listening to them in like 73, 74, that's like the greatest years, in my opinion. And then 77, everyone always says, 77, 78, 77, or 77, whatever it was. I don't know.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the Cornell. And it's like, it's a great show, but it's like, or did it even happen? It's like, have you ever heard that shit where people talk about how it was like a conspiracy and the show never even happened?
I've not heard that.
That's like a whole Deadhead lore thing too. And like Bobby's even been on a podcast where he's like, no, the company doesn't want us to talk about it. And they're like pretending like it never happened. He's like, yeah, we set up in a studio and just recorded it, and then we released it and said it was live.
That is funny. My favorite, so what got me into the Dead was my buddy Davey. Did Cornell even happen?
Grateful Dead, yeah.
He showed me
the show that never happened.
Of course it's on Reddit, dude. So I was listening to the version that is up at archive.org. I'm not reading all this.
No, what it, yeah. Basically, I'll just tell you, basically there's like conspiracy in the world that it's a tape show and that they did it in a studio and made it and bootlegged it themselves to make it like, or like so to say, to make it seem live because it's so perfect almost. Yeah. But it's like, no, dude, it happened. And then it's like, but then that became a rumor, and then so Bobby just played into the rumor.
That's funny.
I'm pretty sure.
Did you hear the I guess not that new anymore, but the Duke Show they just put on Spotify like not that long ago.
No, the Duke Show.
It's I can't remember when it was, but it's a show they played, I think at Duke, like the college, and the first like 15 minutes of the show, like it just sounds so bad. Like the mics aren't on or something. It's like super bad. It's really funny that they released it with that, but I guess that's part of the whole thing.
Some of the shows, if you go and like re-listen and all, you can tell like when I first moved to town, I was like working at 12 Bones Barbecue and would be like wiping tables down early in the morning and getting ready and like listening with my headphones on, pick different re-listen shows, and you try to find one with a good audio, you know. And usually the first, it was always hard to tell by the first two songs because it was always like the levels were changing. You know, you could tell the band was figuring it out. And then it would, Jerry's vocal would be too quiet, and then it would be good, you know. But it's like I love the Donna years. Donna, like the best. Dude. I'm not a Donna hater, and anyone that's a Donna hater,
let Donna sing.
Fuck you, you know.
Do it to the camera. Let the camera know.
Anyone that doesn't like Donna Godchild, you can, you know, you can take a fucking walk.
So I talked.
So go listen to like. I'm not gonna hate on any of those, you know. It's like go listen to like John Lennon's girlfriend, Yoko Ono.
Oh, dude, I saw a video the other day of like her screaming while playing with Chuck Berry, and Chuck Berry sound engineer.
Oh, I saw the same video, and then they took her out.
Yeah,
and she's like,
yeah, it's like, and Chuck Berry's face is like, ah, and then the guy just cuts the mic. But like I was saying, my first show that got me into the Dead was Donna. 72 Bonita, Oregon, which it probably is a bunch of people's first show.
With the Naked Pole Guy?
Naked Pole Guy.
Birdsong, Naked Pole Guy. If you don't like Donna, then fuck you. It's like that. It's like that Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
If you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you. No.
So are you a big, like, obviously you're a fan of the Fish with the Fish band, but have you seen, like, I feel like every Fish fan I know has seen them 100 times. Have you seen them a bunch?
I'm not one of those guys. I've seen them probably like 11 times. Oh, you're playing footsie down here, bro. But I've seen them like 11 times, probably. I don't count, really. I just like to estimate.
I met a dude the other day at your show, actually, on Sunday. You might be able to guess who he is. Alright, we are back. We had to take a quick bathroom break, and my dog needs some loving. You can hear him grunting on the microphone right now if you're listening.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about? How many Fish shows you've been to? 11. So.
Oh yeah, something like that.
There was a dude that I met at your show the other day. You might even be able to guess who he is. I was just sitting there, and I had just gotten there, and like you know, like during set break, everyone goes to congregate and already goes in their circle.
Yeah.
So I got there like right at set break. Everyone was already in their circle, so I'm just like standing in the middle of the floor, like waiting for you guys to come back on. And that dude...
This was last Thursday?
Sunday. And this dude just walks up to me and he's like, "What's up, man? What's your name?" And like we just get to talk and he's like, "Yeah, I've seen Fish like 45 times. 50's coming up." And I was like, "Oh yeah, man, good for you." And then we got talking to Dilly Strings and stuff, but I just thought it was funny. Like I feel like every time I meet someone who's seen Fish a bunch, they're always like, "I have to tell you how many times I've seen Fish."
Yeah, it wasn't, I don't know. It wasn't Jason, was it? Or Tom?
It was Tom.
It was Tom?
Yeah.
Of course it was Tom. Fucking Tom.
He was a really nice guy. I'm not
Shout out Tom. No, I'm just messing. We have that kind of dark humor.
Okay. But I was just sitting there, he just got an ice cube in his mouth and said, "Yeah, seen him 46 times." And I was just like, alright.
Oh my god. I'm really, next time I see him, I'm going to be like, "Sorry, you've seen Fish 46 times."
Well, I mean, honestly, shouts out to him, because I was just standing there like an idiot. Like, I'm just like, have my beer and just like, I don't know anybody here. And honestly, I was on the lookout for you, because I was like, I need to meet this guy Alex, see if he wants to come on the podcast. So I was just like waiting for you, and you were like
hiding in this van.
No, you were bouncing around talking to everyone. And
right before that, I was hiding.
And then I went to go to the bathroom, and you were like washing your hands, and I was like, I feel like I was like at a bar, like hitting on a girl. I was like, I saw you walk in, I was like, "Hey, you come here often? You want to come on my podcast?"
No, I love it, dude. I love getting hit on by you at the bar. That made
my
day. That made my day. I even told my girlfriend to make her jealous. I was like, "You're not gonna believe what happened to me today."
So
she was like, "What?" I was like,
"His name's Clint."
I was like, "His name's Clint." He was maybe. I don't think he was wearing khakis, but I'm gonna be on his jam band podcast.
I'm wearing the same pants I was wearing on Sunday.
There we go.
I have like
I am
3
not
pairs that I
actually.
like just wear the same thing.
Me too. I actually just found these pants the other day, and I was like, "Are these mine?" And I was like, "I think I did buy these at one point at Goodwill or something." But yeah, Fish. We're playing tonight. It's gonna be a good one. 8 to 11. It's usually like 8:30 to 11:30 though.
Okay.
But
So what's in the works for 2025? You got anything big planned? Anything exciting? Is this the year of Alex Bazemore?
Oh, every year is the year of Alex Bazemore for me, at least. At least I try to work on myself, focus on myself. But 2025, I definitely want to record music with my different projects, like the original ones, like the bluegrass ones, Sons of Stars, Amabel Band.
Do you write music too?
I do, yeah. And
Walk me through that kind of like what, because I always think about that. I'm like what gives the inspiration? Like, is it like what does the music come first, or does the songwriting come first?
Well, I was like, I write now. I write more in the bluegrass style or the country western style, like those two bands, Amabel Band or Sons of Stars, versus like jam band, Fish stuff. But when I wrote more jam band, Fish stuff, excuse me, I got the beer burps.
You good?
Those one of the
Me
best
too.
lagers are good. But I was like jamming, and then I would write the words to the songs after. But now that I write in the other style, I write, the words usually. Or, like, I wrote 2 songs recently that I just started hearing the melody in my head, and then I, boom, wrote it down, and then I went to the guitar and, like, found the guitar and made it happen. But it's like Neil Young said it best, I think. He said it's like a radio wave that, like, sends down and you just happen to pick up on it, and then you can write the song. It's like, I didn't write the song. It's almost like the song happened through me. You're just like a conduit, kind of, if you're going to get heady about it,
Okay.
And so it could happen either way, and it's like, those are songs, like, that's like, you could write a song and sit. It's like whenever you try to sit down, and like Dave Rawlings said this in an interview once, like, and he was like,
Who's that?
Dave Rawlings and Gillian Welch. They're like
Okay.
a Nashville folk duo.
Okay.
They kind of started getting big in the 90s. They're a married couple, and they write tunes and they play traditional folk, but also like kind of new. It's like, it's got its own style. They're really good. But they put out an album this last year, 2024, called Woodland, named after their studio, and they were doing a little like podcast show, like KEXP kind of thing or something,
Yeah.
And Dave was saying, when you sit down, it's like if you try to sit down and say, I'm going to write this, I'm going to sit down and write this, then you end up, or I'm going to sit down and be creative, and then you end up with the biggest like blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
Or the biggest cliche. It's like it's not like a job where you can schedule time to practice, I think, but if you try to schedule time to write, I think you can do that, but
Yeah.
it gets like, it's hard because it's not as organic, It's like it kind of just comes to you, and then boom, you have to be like willing to pick up an instrument and follow that little idea, almost like when you just get a whistle, and you're going out. It's like, and those are some of the best ideas. You could sit down and force out ideas, and you could get good at doing that, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like painters almost have to do that.
What are a lot of your songs about?
I don't know. I feel like I like peculiar things, like about myself, about like make believe stories. Like I really like movies,
Okay.
so like I'll write songs like with like a character in mind, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And,
what kind of movies do you like?
Oh, dude, I love my favorite movie is The Shining.
Really? So
But
you like
it's-
horror movies? Or is that
Not
just an
really.
anomaly?
I'm not I don't love scary movies, but The Shining is just made so well. I love and then like The Outsiders. Like I just love good like films, like, and then there's new stuff too. But it's like I know more of the older stuff, but stuff that's like,
Put you on the spot here.
put me on the spot.
top 5 movies, go.
The Shining, The Outsiders. You know that one?
I've read the book, but never.
The
I read it in
movie's
like
classic.
8th grade.
It's got like all the like 80s heartthrob dudes in it. You know, like Ralph Macchio. I forget
John
the rest.
Travolta.
Yeah, like Emilio
I don't know if
Estevez.
he's in it.
I bet John Travolta. No, there's a bunch in there. But I love Tremors. Have you ever seen that?
Tremors?
It's like a B-side movie, but it's kind of great. It's got Kevin Bacon in it.
I fuck with Kevin
It's like
Bacon.
about these worms in like the desert that like come out from under the ground and like eat you basically. But it's like a hoaxy, like kind of funny. It's kind of funny. So Shining,
Outsiders,
Tremors, Twister.
Twister.
Have you seen Twister?
I haven't.
Dude, you gotta watch like all these
I haven't
except
seen-
Shining.
I haven't seen The Shining either.
What?
I haven't seen any of these.
Dude, we gotta get you on this, dude.
All right, number 5.
I'm gonna write these down before
Okay.
I leave. Number 5 would have to be The Sandlot. I don't watch it much, but
I've seen that one.
that was like my favorite childhood
Yeah.
movie. Me and my grandpa watched it all the time.
That's good. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
My grandpa, he's not alive anymore, but he used to own a country nightclub called Country Roads in Atlanta, like in the 70s and 80s, I think.
Them boys were getting loose. I know that.
He always told me, I literally have old writings from him being like, I sure love those old honky tonks where people would take shots and
Did he ever
do
get to see
other
you play?
things. Oh yeah, he got to see me play.
good.
But,
That's cool.
not where I'm at now, but you know,
Yeah.
I like to think that we're connected. But,
So, should we do one more beer? Should I open this one? We probably.
I'm gonna finish this one, and then I'll probably
Okay.
have to.
What time are we gonna get out of here?
Like 6:30.
Okay, we got a few more minutes left.
I'll play a song too if you want. Or do you want me to do that still?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I bet the mix will be okay.
I think so. Yeah, I think this thing works pretty well. I mean, this is the first one I've done in person, so I guess we'll find out. I want to see what other questions I had here.
Dude, I'm glad you asked the movie question because I feel like a lot of musicians are secret film fanatics, you know, and it's like that's where I find my pleasure in life. It's like because other people like love to go see music to be like, oh, it's my thing. I love to see music, but now I do music so much, so it's like it's almost nice to like enjoy a different medium of art and be like, let's watch a movie, you know, or like something totally different.
I love a good movie. I haven't seen those ones, but
Yeah, those are all like 80s, 90s. It's like an era, you know, of that, the Twister and the Outsiders. That's my shit though, is like that era of movie is so cozy. I could just fall asleep to it.
yeah. So I want to go back to plans for 2025 real quick before we get you picking, but I've seen you play one time, man, and like I think you're a really super talented musician, man. I think that we kind of talked about it a little bit the other day, kind of the struggle of being, you know, like an up and coming musician, but I think that you're really, really talented, and I think that like you got something going, and I hope the best for you, man. But outside of the recording, is there like if you could play with one person right now, who would it be?
Oh, if I could play with one person, who would it be? Like just one-on-one and get to play, or like on stage?
On stage, yeah.
Oh, well, that's almost harder because it's like I wouldn't want to fit into someone's thing that they have. You know, like not all bands have singers necessarily. But if I could sit down with a musician one-on-one and just pick, I feel like I would probably want to... I have dreams about sitting down with Billy Strings and picking with him. But like, I
will make a deal with you right now. If you get to do that, you bring him here on my podcast. If I bring him on the podcast, I'll bring you to pick with them.
Okay, deal. If I get to do that, if he's like, I'm in Asheville and I want to pick, I'll be like, we're gonna go be on this podcast too. Is that cool?
Yeah.
There we go. Y'all
bet-
saw it. We should.
I bet he'll be around, because you guys are playing an after show for his...
We're playing. I'm actually doing a couple around that weekend.
Okay.
I've got one at One World downtown, One World Brewing downtown on the 14th, Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So that's gonna be Sons of Stars downtown.
Is that before or after?
After.
After.
That's gonna be late night after, and it's kind of a smaller, cozy bar, and I doubt it'll be like. It's not the official after party, like, you know, so it'll be, if you're looking for like a nice hang with your people and not feel like claustrophobic, it'll be great.
That's not the same night as Mountain Grass Unit, is
No,
it?
no.
Okay.
And then the 15th is Mountain Grass.
Okay.
But then we're playing on the 16th at One Stop downstairs, which is at Kyle Tuttle is playing upstairs.
Oh, really?
And we'll be playing downstairs. So I hope, that one should be like a shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I'll definitely
Every time I go to One Stop after Sunday night, last Billy show in town, it's like, because it's Sunday night,
yeah.
and then everyone's like, we want to go to a show, and then they go till like 1:32. So like at 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock, it's insane.
He loves Asheville for some reason. I guess like Doc Watson's close, so that's probably why. But I mean, 6 nights in one place.
I think it's just a great music town too, and he knows that there's so many people here that like, it's almost like the San Francisco of the East Coast, It's just Asheville. Yeah. I feel like people have said that. I'm not coining that. It's like people.
I've never heard that. So as far as I know, trademark.
No, but people are saying that. A lot of people are saying. It's like
the people are talking.
No, but Asheville has got. It's like when I leave Asheville, and I go to other places, like we were talking about Florida earlier. And there's great pockets of people everywhere you go. But it's like, like the modern American outlook is very like sucked into your phone, like consumer reality. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what we're trying to escape as humans is like come back to like real life and not be like, and it's like you're probably watching this through your phone and that's great. But it's like, use your phone, don't let your phone use you. Prince said that shit about computers.
So last year, 2024, I kind of deleted all my social media, and I even took a step back from drinking for a little bit because I just felt like I was doing it a lot. Like a lot of my free time was going to just going to the bars and drinking with my friends and stuff, which is all good and fun. But I mean, after a while,
taking breaks too.
Yeah. So I kind of took a break from it in 2024, and since I've started this podcast, I've re-downloaded Instagram, and I've been using it in a whole new way to promote this and find people to talk to. And
a different tool.
Yeah, it's instead of it being an escape from reality, I'm using it to further my
stuff,
my goals,
creativity.
Creativity.
And I use it the same way, but then I still get sucked into I
mean, the reels are funny, man.
Reels are funny, but it's like when you're laying there and you're trying to get out of bed, and then you're all of a sudden your phone's in your hand, you're scrolling, and then you're I don't want to scroll, and then next thing you know, you're scrolling again. Yeah. It's that's when it's this shit's got us. It's I saw when you start seeing the ads about phone addiction. That's when you know you've gone too far.
Yeah, you've gone too far. But like you said, we're all people are probably listening to this on their phone, but if I didn't make this podcast, me and you would probably still somewhere down the road be friends, have conversations, but we would never sit down for an hour like this. And
no, so it's great having that's what I mean is use it. You're saying, the fact if you can use it in that way, that's what we have to do. I think is there's no going back at this point. This is where it is. And this is how and it's great. It's great in a way, like you're saying. We're recording, we're documenting this. One day, our fucking kids, you never know if we fucking have children or something. If the world manages to.
It's gonna be funny when by the end of the year you're playing on stage with Billy Strings. We look back at this and be like, motherfucker did it.
Manifestation, or just even documentation, and then you look back and you're like. Because our parents didn't really have... You have old photos and stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't really get to see videos of them when they were a kid, Right? And it's it's going to be different for the generations to come.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be like, oh, there's my 16-year-old dad being a dumbass lighting firecrackers up the trash can.
I don't show the videos that I was doing at 16. I hope those are deleted.
Bro, you know what they say. It's out there forever, dude.
Alright, man. It's 6:25. Why don't you pick us something, and then we'll get out of here.
Cool.
Hit one stop.
Hey, or no, we're at
Hit one world.
One world.
One world.
Baby. One world, baby. Yeah, they got the loggers. They got the Citrus Bombs.
Yeah, you can't beat them.
Home of the famous Rainbow Talent.
Is there a cover tonight, or is today a free one?
I believe there is a cover.
Okay, cover. It's not my show, guys. Trust me.
It's like a tit dog cover.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, a Chick-fil-A sandwich and fries cost $9.96 pretty much. So
that's crazy, man. I feel back in the day it was $6 for that.
Yeah, they're the high end world of fast food. So, but hey, not hating. I love me some good.
Are you gonna play an original?
Yeah, I might as well play an original.
Yeah.
I wrote one of those ones I wrote the other day. Here, you wanna? I'll move this a little bit.
Yeah, let me turn it down a little bit, probably. Do you want to give us kind of the inspiration behind what you got right in it, or you just want to play it? It's up to you.
It was just.
I think we should move this even a little more away from it.
From it, okay.
Just put it up here.
Yeah, I was. I don't know. It's just about. I think it's about somebody going through a hard time. It's like classic bluegrass shit. You know, you're like,
Yeah.
my sweetheart's got me sad kind of song.
Okay.
You know, which is you know, it's the classic Americana story. It's like you start to wonder, like, is there just a common thread here? It's
Well,
like,
before you get going, if you're still listening, if you're still watching, this is Alex Bazemore playing his original song. This guy is legit. If you're local in Asheville, check him out on Thursdays at One World with Phaux Fish. On Sundays, check him out at One World with Sons of Stars.
hey, thanks, brother.
Yeah, you're the man, dude. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Clint. Yeah, your name's Clint, and I accidentally saved you as Cliff in my phone. And I was like, that's not Cliff. I was like, his name's Clint, dude.
I've been called way worse. You're good.
Okay. This one's called The Sky is Blue, and so am I. The sky is blue, and so am I. I sit around, and I wonder why it hurts so bad, this pain inside. But the sky is blue, and so am I. I sit around, and I see you wondering, well, oh, darling dear, I cannot tell but the shiny objects you wish together, or how you put my heart through hell. I once stood tall amongst flowers, and now this fear has mowed me down and spit me out like a pile of clippings. I don't know how I can go back now, but the sky is blue, and so am I. I sit around and I wonder why it hurts so bad, this pain inside. Well, the sky is blue, and so am I. Woo! Tell me that it's alright, that my heart has broken too. I try and sit way back and listen, but I'm not sure what to make of you. I'll go today and start rambling. I'll go today and I'll leave you alone. Just say the word and I'll believe it. For this child has surely grown, where the sky is blue, so am I. I sit around and I wonder why it hurts so bad, this pain inside. Where the sky is blue, and so am I. Where the sky is blue, and so am I.
Hell yeah, man. That was awesome.
It's still working out the kinks.
That was awesome, man. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks,
Looking
brother.
forward to seeing you tonight.
Much more, yeah. And one day we'll.
You want to plug anything real quick?
You know, just Asheville, all my friends that come out and support me every week. And what's your dog's name?
Kid.
We'll plug all of Kid here, dude. And we'll plug Twister and Shining.
What's your Instagram?
Oh, Alex Bazemore.
Alex Bazemore.
underscore Bazemore.
Alex_Bazemore. Make sure to follow him.
Check out Sons of Stars music, Amabel Lee.
And the next time you see the two of us, Billy Strings will be here.
That was legitness. Yeah, it was. Huh?
Well, man, that was fun. That was a good interview with Alex Bazemore. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did. He'll definitely be coming on again. Hopefully get some members of his bands on here to kind of tell their story. I want to take this time at the end of each interview each week to kind of just reflect on the music that I saw this week and then talk about some of the upcoming shows too. The only shows I saw this week were Phaux Fish and Alex's other band, Sons of Stars. We just did a whole hour interview with him, so I won't get too much into that. But there is a good amount of music this week in Asheville. Tuesday, January 21st, we have the Grateful Family Band from 7 to 10 at One World Brewing. It's a fun Grateful Dead band. They play there every single Tuesday night. And then also Moon Hooch will be playing at the Orange Peel. If you haven't seen those guys, check them out. They also have a really cool tiny desk. I saw them in Richmond a few years ago, and they put on a really good show. Thursday, January 23rd, we have Phaux Fish at One World. And then we have Jerry's Dead at One Stop. And Jerry's Dead plays from 6 to 9. You can kind of catch that whole show and then sneak over to One World and catch Phaux Fish too. Jerry's Dead plays at One Stop. Phaux Fish play at One World. And then Sunday, another fun show, Sons of Stars, Alex Bazemore's band. But there's also another band playing after them, Funkle Sam, who's another really good Grateful Dead cover band. So check those guys out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me, guys. I really appreciate anyone who's tuned in for this. Bear with me a little bit on some of the software and interviewing skills. I'm just trying to get better. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Instagram. It's alljammedup_. And that's all I really have, guys. Again, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this. And just remember, wherever you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. Have a great week, guys.
Come along, have a drink with me. We can talk about the world and how the world is turned so slow. Day that I found cars they drive and planes they fly. I look into the sun and the sky, you're so bright. It's you that I have found. Oh, and I know there's not much longer now. Or if the world would just slow down.